Hi everybody, Steve here at Westwood Village Memorial Park in Los Angeles once again. And this time I'm here hoping to find the final resting place of actor and comedian Tim Conway. I've been here a couple of times since he passed away, searching for his final resting place, and haven't been able to find it, but I think he finally does now have a plaque on his crypt. So let's go see if we can find it. Actor, comedian, writer, and director Tim Conway passed away here in Los Angeles nearly 2 years ago on May 14th, 2019, at the age of 85. I've been here to this cemetery a couple of times since then, searching for his final resting place, and just in the last month or two, his name was finally placed on his crypt. It's right here in the sanctuary on the wall to the far left of the elevator, and it's the only elevator in the cemetery, so it's easy to find. And on the way to Tim Conway's crypt, you pass the niche of director Joseph von Sternberg. Von Sternberg is credited with discovering actress Marlene Dietrich, and he directed many of her classic films. Later in his career, he taught a course in film studies at nearby UCLA, and his course was taken by Jim Morrison and Ray Manzarek of the rock group The Doors. Von Sternberg died from a heart attack in Beverly Hills on December 22, 1969, at the age of 75. Almost directly across from his niche is the crypt of actor and voice actor Jason Davis. Davis was probably best known as the voice of Mikey Blumberg on the Disney Channel TV series Recess. Sadly, he died here in Los Angeles at the very young age of 35 on February 16, 2020, from the use of pain medication fentanyl. His untimely death was listed as an accident. Just right around the corner here to the right is Tim Conway's crypt. As you can see, this is a newer section with a lot of newer crypts, and many of them seem to still be available. His plaque includes 2 epitaphs. The smaller one right under his name reads, "It's hard to be sad when you're laughing," and the larger one at the bottom reads, "That rainy day is here." His entertainment career spanned more than 55 years and included more than 100 movies and TV shows and 6 Emmy Awards. He retired in 2016 after being diagnosed with dementia and died from normal pressure hydrocephalus. I can't think of an actor or comedian who appeared in more popular TV shows than Tim Conway. He was a regular on a half a dozen TV shows, including Ernie's Place from 1960 to 1962, McHale's Navy from 1962 to 1966, The Carol Burnett Show from 1967 to 1978, The Tim Conway Show and The Tim Conway Comedy Hour in 1970, Laugh-In from 1970 to 71, SpongeBob SquarePants from 1999 to 2012, Yes Dear from 2001 to 2005, and he was a regular on many of the TV talk shows like The Johnny Carson Show. As baby boomers, he was definitely a big part of all of our lives. For me, I most remember him from The Carol Burnett Show. So it just seems right that he's laid to rest here in the same cemetery where Carol Burnett's daughter, Carrie Hamilton, is also laid to rest. It appears to be a family plot, so I can only guess that maybe one day Carol Burnett and Tim Conway will also be reunited here, but hopefully not anytime soon. And I'll show you Hamilton's gravesite in just a minute. She's laid to rest right across the walkway from one of the biggest names in comedy entertainment history, and they're both just on the other side of the wall from the niche of a popular stand-up comedian who a number of you have asked me to visit. It's funny to think that there might be more comedy legends laid to rest here than in any other cemetery in the world. And I've already visited many of those comedy greats in some of my past videos. If you like to laugh, this is about as close as you're going to get to comedy heaven. Now, just to the left of Tim Conway's crypt are the crypts of 2 other famous people. Henry Joseph Caruso was the billionaire founder of Dollar Rent-A-Car. He lived to be 95 years old, dying in Beverly Hills, California on November 26, 2017. Georgia Frontiere was the owner of the Los Angeles Rams football franchise, who relocated the team to St. Louis in 1995, and in the year 2000 they won the Super Bowl. She lived to be 80 years old, dying in Santa Monica, California on January 18, 2008. And did you notice the name Dorf on this crypt here? Dorf was the name of one of Tim Conway's most popular characters. So of course it makes me wonder if Conway had any connection to the people interred here. If not, it certainly seems like a very funny coincidence, don't you think? The comedians I mentioned earlier are interred just a few yards away, in this very tiny cemetery, so let's walk over there now and I'll show you their final resting places. Carrie Hamilton was a movie and television actress who died here in Los Angeles from lung and brain cancer on January 20th, 2002, at the young age of 38. Because her grave marker or plaque is so small, I'm assuming she was cremated and that her ashes were buried here in this family plot. This section is right behind the Garden of Serenity, and just on the other side of this wall is Florence Henderson's cremation niche. On the opposite side of the walkway is another famous family plot. The cremated remains of legendary actress and comedian Fanny Brice, along with her son, William Jules Bryce Arnstein, her daughter, Frances Bryce Arnstein Stark, Frances's husband, William Stark, their son, Peter Bryce Stark, and Fanny's brother, Lou Bryce, are all interred here in their family plot. Fanny died from a cerebral hemorrhage in nearby Hollywood, California, on May 29, 1951, at the age of 59. Bryce got her start in the early 1900s on Broadway and became famous with the Ziegfeld Follies. She also became well known as a popular singer and had a number of hit recordings. From 1930 until her death in 1951, she was best known for her popular radio program, The Baby Snooks Show. In 1964, she was immortalized in the Broadway stage production of Funny Girl, which was adapted into a very popular and successful movie in 1968, starring Barbra Streisand as Fanny Brice. The film was nominated for 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, and Streisand won the Oscar for Best Actress. Stand-up comedian and actor Kip Addota's epitaph reads, "The Comedian of the United States." He appeared regularly on TV talk shows like The Johnny Carson Show and game shows like Hollywood Squares. Addota died in Los Angeles on August 13, 2019, at the age of 75. His cremated remains are interred here in the Gardens of Serenity on the same niche wall as actresses and comedians Doris Roberts and Florence Henderson. Some of you may remember that I used to share photos and videos sent to me by subscribers on this channel. Unfortunately, it became so difficult and time-consuming that sadly I had to stop doing it. Then something funny happened. On the day that I started editing this video about Tim Conway and other comedians buried here in this cemetery, I received emails from 3 subscribers on the same day with photos from their recent trips to visit the gravesites of their favorite comedians. And whether you want to call it a weird coincidence or a happy accident, I'm just going to take it as a sign that I'm supposed to make an exception and share them with you in today's video. Eddie Martin sent me this photo of Tom Lester's headstone. Eddie and Tom were both born in Laurel, Mississippi, and Tom is now buried at Hickory Grove Cemetery in Laurel, Mississippi. Lester died in Nashville, Tennessee on April 20th, 2020 at the age of 81. And on the off chance that someone watching doesn't know who he is, Lester played Eb Dawson on the popular 1960s sitcom Green Acres. Rick Brawley sent me this photo from the gravesite of actor Paul David Graf, who played Sergeant Tackleberry in the very popular Police Academy movies. Graf died from a heart attack in Phoenix, Arizona on April 7, 2001 at the very young age of 50. He's buried in Forest Rose Cemetery in Lancaster, Ohio. Rick Brawley also sent me this photo from the gravesite of actress Conchata Farrell, who co-starred in the popular TV sitcom 2.5 Men. Farrell died from cardiac arrest in Sherman Oaks, California on October 12, 2020 at the age of 77. She's buried at Forest Cemetery in Circleville, Ohio, and as you can see, her gravesite doesn't yet have a headstone. Jessica Gold sent me this photo from the gravesite of actor and comedian Jim Varney. Like Paul David Graf, Jim Varney also died at the very young age of 50. He succumbed to lung cancer in White House, Tennessee on February 10th in the year 2000. Varney is buried at the Lexington Cemetery in Lexington, Kentucky. And he's probably remembered by most for the humorously oblivious and annoying Ernest P. Worrell character that he played in commercials and also in a series of popular movie comedies. Thank you, Eddie, Rick, and Jessica, for sharing your own personal trips down memory lane with us. Many of the actors and comedians that I've mentioned today were either nominated or won Emmy Awards during their careers, but very few of them have sculptures or busts dedicated to them at the Television Hall of Fame in the Academy Plaza just outside of the Television Academy in North Hollywood. I was there recently and I was happy to see that Tim Conway is one of the comedy legends memorialized there, so I thought that you would also like to see his bronze bust. Unfortunately, it was a very sunny day and the bushes and trees were casting very dark shadows over his lifelike face, but you can still tell that it's him. This week I want to thank my newest PayPal supporter, Deborah Harrison, and my newest Patreon supporter, Gregory Lee. Thank you, Deborah and Gregory, for your extra generous donations to my channel. Your support really means a lot. So if you enjoyed today's trip to the past, I hope you'll join me in another one by clicking and watching this one here. So until next time, thanks for sharing the memories, everybody.